Hello, welcome.
Hello,
Hello, how are you today, Mohammed?
I'm fine. I'm excited to join. Maybe this is the fifth year joining Devoxx Ukraine, and
Wow.
it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, we are
Yeah, this
also
is.
very glad that you joined this year. Yeah, where are you connecting from?
I'm originally now I'm based in Serbia, so I'm living I'm working in Serbia, but originally before I came from Egypt, but I'm your
Wow.
neighbor now.
Yeah, not far away.
Yeah.
Okay, so I welcome you to start. The mic is yours, so please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I will share my. So you can hear me normally, and
Yes.
you can see my presentation. Is it okay?
So everything works great.
Okay, great. So now I would like to start with this presentation. I have two presentations, this one and the next one right after when I finish this one, but like by 10 minutes. And because I'm limited for the time, this talk usually take like 1 hour and 1 hour and 10 minutes. I will try to squeeze it because of the time. So I would like to welcome all of you and thank you for attending my presentation. And I hope all of you are safe and stay healthy, please, because nowadays the numbers for coronavirus are increasing crazily. And I don't know, it's scamming me. So I hope every one of you uh, are really healthy and with good health. So my name is Mohamed Taman, as the team just introduced me, and I'm working as a chief solution architect for a company called Effortel. It's based in Belgium. It's telecommunication company, and the R&D center that I am working with is in Bulgaria. Excuse me because of my voice. 2 days ago I caught a cold, so if you are hearing me coughing, it's not coronavirus, and even we are behind the screen. So today I would like to speak about not every single feature that we have in JavaSE9 until Java 15 or 16, but I picked up some of the most important, and I see it's myself even I use it every day, and it gave me more productivity. And also I would like to share with you some knowledge about what has been done since we introduced the 6 months release cadence and the features of the language and how it changes and the language evolves. So uh, if you would like definitely to follow me, you can follow me on all my communication and social media. I will bring it to you. I'm Java Champion, Groundbreaker Ambassador, and Java E Ambassador. I'm writing for different technology magazines like Java Magazine, Oracle Magazine, FAQ, IBM Developers. And this is why, because every single aspect that I'm speaking about or feature, sometimes I wrote an article about these features. So I put links for on each slide referring to the feature. So if you would like to know more about the feature, so this is you will find during this. So you can take a picture of this if you would like to follow me on my GitHub, Twitter, LinkedIn connection, and definitely in Facebook. So you are welcome. Or easier search about my name on Google and you will find me easily. Just connect with me and it would be my pleasure, definitely, my Ukrainian friends. So let's take a picture about Java history in a nutshell. You know that we always, before Java 9, we have like from 3 to 4 years release for Java, which was like really very long period in introducing new features, and it comes usually with bunch of changes, but it was late. And nowadays, because it's very fast to release another softwares and the cloud computing era also evolving so quickly, and We have releases of every language that cope with this. Java is very old language and it's very reliable language. One of the biggest problem with Java is to keep background compatibility. This really was making us is very slow in order to introduce new features, and at the same time just keep the notion of Java write once, run anywhere. This is behind not just the bytecode and how it could run on different operating system. No, if you brought a code written in Java 1 or Java 2 version, it will run in Java 8 and Java 7. It doesn't matter because we preserve background compatibility. This is also, this is very good feature, but also it makes us very slow in this regard. So we decided definitely to introduce the module system in order to have more modular Java 9 and the upcoming releases. And also we would like to introduce more encapsulation and security. All of you knows about that there is some internal APIs that was not intended to be used by public people or IDE releasers. So in order to make use of the internal JDK like libraries, but it wasn't that secured in order to prevent these people. Module system brought this, and this is how we encapsulate internal system in order to move forward. So since 2017, we have this kind of release cadence, 6 months release cadence, which really brought to the Java language a lot of enhancement, and you can find Java coming to you every 6 months. So what is the big change that happens in Java since Java 8? And not everyone using modularity, by the way. And there is one question I have been asked always from my team is about yes, we would like to migrate. This is very big concern is migration, because modularity, yes, it's introduced by JIGSAW, the project JIGSAW, JIP 209. And I would like also to give you a note that when you click on this link, on any JIP link, it will redirect you to the Java enhancement proposal, and you can read more about it. So modules is the first citizen Java class now. It's become, before it was the package, the packages who does the encapsulation for all our organized code, and now we have module system. Module system introduced not just organization way, also introduce way of securing, unbundling, and hiding your internal APIs and classes. So it introduces, you can bundle together one or more packages, secure them internally, and offer stronger encapsulation. This is why this is allow us to scale down runtime jars. It's very convenient for IoT microservices, embedded systems, and cloud for definitely. And stronger, why it's stronger? Because public is no longer public to others anymore. Because the basic problem is that if we declare the class a public to be accessed from different packages internally, this is what happened. You can access this class. But with module system, if you have a public class inside the module and you would like to access this public class from other module, you cannot. But it's public, man. You cannot, because you don't declare to be exported to outside world. So this is what means public is no longer public to others. So it's public only inside the module for other packages inside the same module. But if you would like to make it accessible outside, you have to declaratively declare it as exported class, so other modules can access it, or other jars. So this is how modularity brought for us stronger encapsulation and also more security. So definitely for more, I will not repeat this anymore. Whenever you find the link below, you can access this link for more information about this concept and migration and everything. So what is the main proposals for project Jigsaw is to modularize GDK so we can have it modularized, and we did this. And even it happened since Java 8. How? If you read about Java 8, you will notice that Java 8 proposed like compact profile 1, 2, and 3, and they were static. So you cannot change the behavior or the content. They were intended for some purpose of general purpose programming modules, and then you can use them. What is the purpose? Is the footprint for the memory is reduced, and the size of the final GDK or runtime image is reduced. And we would like to take control over and over only, not taking also subset of just static modules. We said, okay, we would like to make to get fine-grained control over the modules, so only the modules that your application needs only exported as a runtime images. So if you have trivial public static void main just printing a string, only the base module will be exported with your application, not any other kind of modules, because you don't use it. So your application will tend to be like 2K or 3K. Finally, it's not 164 mega, because you have to have all these kind of resources. So this is the way that we modularize GDK, and definitely modularize Java source code into package modules. In this way, this modularization allows us to modularize runtime images, so we can create our own runtime images based on our application design and what only needed for our application. Definitely, it's allow us to encapsulate Java internal APIs to not be accessed anymore from outside. And finally, it brought for us Java platform module system for us as author of the code to have our own modules in order to separate the concept of OSGI at the beginning. This is the main concept of modularity. It was there from long time, OSGI, and then we brought it in Java in order to make it easy to create these concepts. So this is the main goal of Project Jigsaw. So everyone asking me, okay, most of the people using Java 8, and they stuck to it, and now we have Java 16 coming next March, and we already released amazing Java 15, and so we would like to make use of this language, not just features. There is a lot of changes happening behind. It's in terms of JVM enhancement, especially, you know, that we have GraalVM, which really can compile your code into native. So it's like C++ when you would like to you gain the speed and the memory footprint, which is really very good for your cloud application, for startup of the application, for some general and critical mission code that really need fast response, fast startup, and also reduced memory footprint and more interaction with the operating system natively. It's become more easier. And also GraalVM introduced for you definitely the polyglot programming concept, so you can integrate many different programming inside this GraalVM, and you can do JavaScript, Ruby, Grail, whatever. It's JVM based language. So I can tell you that you can migrate easily, and you don't have to modularize your software, because modularity, it just came in the way that we can use it for modularizing our APIs or internal code. It's mainly for tooling, and it's mainly for third-party libraries, authors that need to like JUnit or Maven artifacts or something like this. We would like to modularize our code, but if you do microservices, what you're going to modularize? Nothing. It should be normal application, and only I would like to use Java 11, Java 12, Java 13, 15. So go for it. All what you need to do is just to take care of which items or features that we are removing from the GDK in order to just replace it. What's new internal API? If you are using some internal API, what is the alternative to use it? So this is could be helpful tools for you. If you'd like to list all the modules that you are using, you can use these flags with Java, with your application. If you'd like to find dependencies, if your application is depending on internal JDK, so you can list all of them, and also sometimes give you solution, what is alternative solution that you can use. And also if you'd like to see the deprecations, so you can use JDepreCate to see what is the API deprecated, because from now on, we don't only deprecate pre-Java 9, or let's say Java 11, we only always announce we have deprecation, and it's nice to not using it. But if you use it, continue using it, nobody will complain about you. Why? Because it's out there. Nowadays, starting from Java 11, we start to clean up, we start to remove. So you have to take care of all of this. So this will help you about what is the deprecated methods, and also will give you insight that when it will be released, when it will be removed from the API or the JDK. This was the big change, which is Java module system, and I can speak a lot about migration. As I told you, you can have in this link all the difficulties and pitfalls of migration from Java 9 or Java 8 to 9+. So you can have this article. So I talk about Java new 6 months release cadence because it's brought for us speed to bring new features. As a community, also we get your feedback, and we will see how this feedback really change the way that we introduce new features. So also there is long debate, but most of you know about this, which is LTS, long-term support. So this is very important for people working for companies, so we cannot migrate for each version of the JDK. We only rely on long-term support in order to get the batches, security enhancement, fixes, only for this long 5 years or 7 years like support. So this is, you can see here that normally this is the support timeline, and JDK 8 also gets supported to 2026. And you can see that we have Oracle JDK and Open JDK, for example, and all of the other provider for JDK. So you find that 18.9, which is the year of the release and the months of the release. So we don't have, this is the internal version scheme for JDK. So you can find 18.3 means Java 11. Java 11 is the first long-term support, and then we have Java 12, then 11, 12, 13, then we have 14, 15, 16, and then 17. So from this diagram, you can imagine that how we are working, and then you can find a gap here between each release support and end of the support. So what does it mean? It means that each 5 years or each 5 versions, we introduce a new long-time support, and also we have like 2-3 years between ending the support for the first one release and the second one. So you can find a gap between migration. And this is very important. Great. Also, I would like to tell you that starting from Java 11, it is the cleaner for the jungle of Java jungle. How we start to remove features, and we are going to see what we removed and what API we are going to remove, and how the schema goes, so you can figure out when you see deprecation for one version for some specific feature, you should know when it will be removed. Usually it takes like 2 releases of the JDK, and then the removal happens. So in order to give you a chance to migrate properly. So what behind the new license schema module? Yes, Java is still free. You can use OpenJDK. OpenJDK, usually it's just the fork. The same development mainstream happens to OpenJDK, and then Oracle JDK fork it from this OpenJDK and introduce all these kind of support, and all of the commercial or non-commercial, like Corito from Amazon, Alibaba JDK, Azul, all of them agreeing on the same. So all all of these releasers of the GDK confirm to the OpenGDK. So if you are stick to using all the features inside OpenGDK, your code should run on all of these GDK releasers or maintainers. And this is an article we wrote about how Java is still free and how can use it. And also you can find a list of all the GDK maintainers, and because sometimes you need long-term support without paying for it, so you can go for Amazon Corito, for example, and you have Alibaba. But if you would like reliable on more batches support and everything, you have Oracle, definitely you have Azul and all of these kind of people. So this is, by the way, this article is written by all Java champions participating in this article to give you the full information. So for also the first time starting from Java 12, we introduced something called preview language features. Wow, what is this? Yes, you know, we would like to release features, and sometime before we took a lot of time enhancing. We don't have feedback from the community, but now because we are 6 months release cadence, it's very easy to introduce a feature and introduce it as a preview feature. Why? It means that you have to enable a specific flag, which dash preview feature, language feature, because enable preview, because you are going to use it in your own risk. You are trying the feature, but it's not meant to be fully for production. So if there is breaking changes or something, it doesn't harm you. But what is the benefit? You can try the features. It's not finished yet, but you can try it. You can give the feedback. We take this feedback in serious way, and I will show you how we did this. So this is for the preview feature, and similar is we have incubator modules for the APIs and code. So the same concept, but incubator modules also the same concept of preview, but preview it's related to Java language specification, but incubator modules it's intended for the APIs and the language classes and interfaces. So our agenda, as I told you, so we'll see what's new, explore new language features, what's improved for APIs, and what APIs goes forever, and what is the alternative. Let's jump in, and the time is okay. Okay, we still have a little bit, so I will go fast a little. So starting from Java 11, we don't have GRE anymore. So if you are going to download GDK, and you will not find GRE anymore, because no need for GRE. We have JLink, which is part of the module system that allow you to generate your own custom GRE. So we don't have to maintain all this kind of source code of the GDK, and also we don't have to maintain redundant like Java and JavaSE9 and bin folder and all of this kind of structure. So why to have this? You have my application, I have my GDK. I would like only to take the Java interpreter and some of my modules that support my application with third-party libraries, and that's it. So, okay, great, you have GLink, use it, and you will create your own custom GRE. So what is JLink? JLink, in a nutshell and in a quick overview, it's just we can use it to link a set of modules along with their transitive dependencies. Means modules sometimes, if you are using, for example, GDBC or logging or something, it uses internally logging, so it will take this logging alongside in order to make all your application running without any breaking or missing libraries. So it does this magically behind the scene for you, and also to create a custom modular runtime image for you. Great, thanks JLink for this. Now I would like also to give you, I know that a lot of people mention about this, but this is new tools because Java Champion and all of us, not just Java developers, we are teachers. There is a lot of teachers, there is a lot of professors working in universities. They are looking for a way how to enhance Java to make it easy for students to study Java. And also it's for us to prototyping the language, to try new features in easy way, without just bringing or fire up your IDE to start to try like new stream function or string function or trying some feature of the language. So we definitely have this Java shell, and Java shell brought to us like interactive programming through the shell, so you can do all of this statement and it will run for you, and you can do all whatever you like. It's like Python, it's like Node, it's like this kind of, so we have interactive running. So also we introduced that now all days something, what if we have a class and we would like to run it? In all days we have this public static void main, and we have a class, and we would like to just print this. We have to compile first in order to have dot class, and then run the dot class with Java. But what is nice now, we have, starting from Java 11, we can run Java with Java. So this JIB is launch single file source code programs. It's very, very, very useful because it's combined with SHEBANG, so you can write scripting inside Java now and run in your operating system, Linux or Mac, seamlessly as if it's a normal bash command without any kind of understanding. And it's written fully in Java. This is very great feature. So I don't have to learn bash and more scripting language in order to write my daily scripting. So I use Java, I will still write in Java. So all what we need to do with the previous class is just write Java, hello world.java, and it will print it for you. It's very nice in order to have one single file, try it quickly without compilation and go through all these hassle steps. So I encourage you to try it. So let's now see some language features. And definitely something that I like, which is var, and we can use local variable type inference, and this is JIB 286. So it introduces for us the var. Var is just a synthetic sugar, and at the compile time, it switches to the real type. So var here is very, very, very smart to infer the type of the variable from always the right-hand side. So there is glitches, and sometimes you have to know when to use var and when you cannot. So you can explore this, my tutorial at MFAQ about what you can do with var and what you cannot. But it's generally, for example, if for a string, it will infer this is a string, it will infer this is as also string, it will infer this is of type class. And for example, if we have list of numbers and we do streaming, it will infer the in-terminal and streaming, as you can see. So it's very powerful. Also, it's avoid you very long declaration for variables, so you can short it var, and it works as long as you can introduce something that it can infer from the right-hand side. So also in Java 11, this is, as you can see, always I'm trying to give you Java 10, so you know when it starts, this feature introduced. And in Java 11, we enhanced var to work with lambda expression. So you know that with lambda, we can write it with explicit declaration of the variable type like this, and easily we can do it like this. But why we need to do it like this? It's very strange, because this is the same like this. You can remove it or state the variable. So why we need var? Because it's very important in some cases, annotations, if you introduce annotations, annotation does need variable type. So in order to make it easy, we can use var. So in this case, if you have annotation in lambda expression, definitely you need to type, because annotation does need it. And then you don't have to write the full declaration, so you can use var. So all of these three are similar, but this is the most important feature, why we need var. So as I told you, remember, run Java with Java. It's very nice. But now combining it with SHEBANG notation, it brings a magic, man, for us. So let's consider this like file. and it's called directory lister. Okay, and by the way, we have a tricks here I will show you, and we have to add this shebang notation user bin pointing to your Java interpreter, and then it just and give the source 11 it was at that time, or 12 now, or 13 or 14 or whatever the features that you are using, and then you can write this is all of this written inside the directory lister, or the file that you are including this kind of code. So you have to put shebang notation and this line at the beginning of the file, then start writing all your Java normally code like this. And then the next step is just we would like to save this code in a file named directory list, but man, you are now breaking the rules for Java that the source code name should follow the file name, but I will tell you why. No, it shouldn't in this case. And I will just name it dir list without any extension, even .java or something like this. So what does it mean? Yes, because it does. We need names in terms of when we compile our classes and to be used in class path. But in this case, the compilation happens on memory. So it happens in memory, so you don't need the class name. It doesn't matter. You're not going to refer. This is a drawback, so you cannot use this with including many different like third-party libraries or something like this. Inside, if you'd like to modularize your application, you just include all your classes inside the code, the same file, and then you can use modules, yes, and I have tutorial about this. But it's just one class. You can run it with Java. If you are trying to reference different class outside, it will not work because it happens compilation in memory. So we need to make it executable like this. Then what we need to do is just invoke it like this, ./dir list, and it will work magically for you. If you'd like to read more about it, you have the JIP number, and definitely you will have the article for it. So we did also enhancement for HTTP and WebSocket. This was incubator module, and we have HTTP client and WebSocket API originally shipped with JDK9, and it was under JDK.incubator.http client. We did some enhancement, and we reintroduced it again in Java 11 and Java 10. But finally, it becomes standardized and removed from JDK.incubator.http client and graduated to its last package name or module name java.net.http, and brought into the mainstream in Java 11 under this JIP number. So what does this module provide? It provides very simple HTTP client, HTTP request, response, and WebSocket, and they are very reliable and strong, and they support even HTTP version 1.1 and version 2, and low-level client interfacing for WebSocket also, in order to have all of this communication for REST API, or you can use all of this enhancement without referring to third-party language. So if you would like to make a request, it's very easy. HTTP client, new request, like this, and we build this is the client and this is the request, and we can call it sync or async even. So this is in a sync way, so it's asynchronously trying to communicate with this REST endpoint and bringing some information from it, and it has to wait for the result, and you can read more about it. And for WebSocket, it's the same. We implementing the normal callbacks for WebSockets in an interface. And then what we need to do is just create a WebSocket from HTTP client like this, but definitely the URI is starting with WS or WSS for Web Secure Socket. And then you just start sending and receiving. Okay. All of us knows about old switch statement, and we have this ugly, very long statement, and we have to provide break. And if you forget one break, you have two cases will fail through, and you start to go for debugging cutting your hair and start, having all of these kind of problems. And then we try to enhance this. And what we introduced in Java 11, definitely using preview language, we reduce it to use arrow token like this, so you don't have to use break. So even there is no fail through. And also, we provide new switch expressions, so you can assign switch statement. So instead of just having, like previously, even after enhancement, that I have to have a string, then I have to return the string, it's very easy to return the data from switch, so you can now use switch as expression in your code or assignment or whatever you like. So, and even you can reduce it to this. And even more, based on, if you would like to have comma separated multiple labels for a single switch statement, which we were doing before like this. No, it's much easier now to do it like just comma separation, and you don't have to make this fail through. So in order just to assign for one, and then you can use it like this, it's much easier, right? It's very nice. One more thing that okay, thank you. As I told you, for the text block, instead of, if you're writing JavaScript, if you're writing Swagger description, if you're writing long statement for database especially, and we have to culture all of our code with pluses and new things like this, we made it very easy for you just to write it like this. And all the indentation and new lines implicitly taken care of by this amazing feature. So I encourage you to try to use it as much as you can. But first, migrate to Java 15 to be final, or Java 11 in order to have, but you will not have it because we introduced in Java 13. This is why I told you, like, we need to have some more powerful. So, okay. Also, another feature which very interesting is pattern matching. Pattern matching, all days we were doing in order to compare with instance of, we have this kind of instance of, and then we need to cast, and then we can start using it, and then doing this extra step. And now in Java 14 enhancement, we can do this object instance of string and give the variable name, and immediately you can use the variable name. And even in complex statement like this, we can use this. And even after the first declaration, you can start in the second comparison part, you can start using this without just casting, and you start using inside. It's an amazing, even when or and or something like this, you can use it. The use of pattern matching in instance of should dramatically reduce the overall number of explicit casts in Java programming. And this is very nice. And also it gives us more enhancement toward the Java new features we are going to introduce. Lovely also thing that I use always now as a data carrier usually is record. We introduced record. And when we write like DTOs and data transfer object or something that I would like to assign request from the endpoint to my REST endpoint and these kind of things, we write very long old Java Booj object, and then we write we try to override equals hash code, provide git set and everything like this. We start to use Lombok in order to reduce the code and doing this for us and with some extra care. But now if you would like to have something, for example, like this, and there is definitely for shortening this kind of code, I just omitted all the implementation of equals, hash code, toString, and you can imagine how it goes if we have many instance variables here, and then we can do all of this just in this one line. This is really equivalent than this. You don't have to write. It's normally using give for you. There is no set. It's always get, because the initialization point for it's a mutable type, and also it's final in its original implementation. So it's only it provides the getters, and the getters here, it will not follow the same like traditions and rules that we have get and set. It will always, so if we have a name, you will find point.name, not get name. So for here, it will be point.x, point.y. This is like invoking, like instead of get, it will be int x and y normally. And you have implementation of the equal and hash code and toString will happen to you behind the scene for free, and there is no other. Anyway, there is a lot of customization here. It happens, but you can go for the JEP and you can read about it more. Also, this is one of the amazing things we introduced also as a preview feature, which is null pointer exception handling or debugging. So previously, if we have something like this, a.i equal this, and we have a is null, and then we just get like null pointer exception in program line 5, and we would like to figure. But what if we have something like this? We don't know either A or B or C is null. And if we get this, we have to debug. We have to start debugging our code in order to know which. But when enabling this in the preview feature, and then we will get this exception. Okay, exception happen thread main and cannot read field C because A.B is null. And it happens in line 5. So it's very, very informative in order to just make it easy for debugging and knowing without going for starting your system debugger. Let's say about something. Lastly, we said about sealed classes. So this is allow you to control which classes should be implemented by which interface. So for example, if we have class like this, and we name it as a sealed, and we say that this class only allowed to be implemented only by circle, rectangle, and square. So, and then how can I write the others? I can write them like public plus circle, extend shape, it's allowed, and I can declare it final, so it cannot be subclassed anymore. And I can say also that the rectangle is part of shape, and the rectangle also is sealed, and it's allowed to permits only transparent rectangle and filled rectangle. And also I can say this definition for this new permission, and also I can say non-sealed class square, which extends shape, so you can extend square further with no problem. This is all the shape, so you take control of nobody mistakenly, anyone can extend or implement your class. So sometimes when you do frameworking, or you would like to your team to allow only some certain feature to be implemented by some certain classes, no more, or no inheritance, you can use this great feature. I think that I have covered all of this for now. A new language API for string, we have repeat, and instead of just doing for loop, you can say no repeat and trim and concatenation Batman. You can have this no Batman, and you have is blank, and if is blank is actually, we usually before we do this trim in order to trim all these kind of spaces, and then try to equalize it with 0 if it's it's a blank. So you have is blank doing the same job. And you have strip leading. It's the same like trim, but only one difference. That strip is Unicode aware. If you apply trim here, this is the end up text. Why? Because we have Unicode space. And if you are developing Unicode aware systems, I encourage you to use stripe. Instead of trim. If you are using just English normal one and you don't have Unicode spaces, you can use trim. We have lines. This is very useful. If you have something like this and you say lines, it will come as a stream, and you say for each, so it will print it like this. Amazing. And we have indentation. You can indent your code. So imagine something like this. We indent 5. We indent with minus, it accepts. So it will end up with 3. I would like to convert it to lines for each, and I'll print all of them indented with 3 lines, 3 dots or 3 spaces. So we have transform. This is very nice. So imagine that we have this text, and then I would like to do some transformations. So I can say text.transform. I would like to convert it first to uppercase, and the result I would like to transfer it to some specific. I would like to replace all the asterisk with nothing. And then finally, I would like to split it. So split, it will return an array, and this is the result. So text without some asterisks. So you can do a lot of transformation on your string in one line. And also this is taking as a lambda expression, so you can have your own functions defined and you can pass it quickly, so it becomes more dynamic. A part of text block also, because we have text block, we have these methods, so you can format. So if you would like, for example, to pass variables to your text block, so you can do it like this. So you can say hello world, and you can dynamically change. So you can say formatted world. And this happens if you are writing SQL statement or JavaScript and would like to substitute with some variables, so you can do it like this. Strip indentation, yes, it's doing stripping for indentation for the same. And finally, we have translate escape, because it's also, it can translate. So this is translate escape is equivalent to new line. Yes, it's true, and you can use it inside your text blocks. And finally, why this warning happens, because as I told you, there is deprecation. There is one new field called for removal equal to true. So it means that it might, we introduced this because text block is preview feature. And if there is any new API introduced in the string, it should be also marked for removal in case of this feature is removed. So all the combining supporters API should be removed as well. So if we did like standardize it, all of this API now is a standard, because text block is a standard from Java 15. Compact number we have now, you don't have to do your own or use your own libraries in order to compact the financing or numbers for you. So you can use compact number formatter. And if you have something like this, you can just give the style, format this, and based on the locale, it will say 10K and 1 million, for example, or 1 billion based on the country that you are working from. So collections, we have teeing. We introduced something called teeing. Teeing is a way that can use a result of two comparators. So if you have this stream and I would like to have standard deviation, for example, I don't have to do it in two steps, so I can do it in one step. So I say, okay, I would like to have the collection, I would like to have the sum and the counting, and then do the sum and counting, so I will have the standard deviation immediately in one step. So it's combined two collector. Now you can also compare files binary. So mismatch doing comparison, and it will return return -1 if it match. Otherwise, it will return the location of the first mismatching byte for you. And it's very helpful for images even. So we did a lot of implementation for socket and socket server, and also enhancement in order to make it very aware of project Loom and the concurrent API. And this is very important to have this kind of implementation, and to be ported also for different operating system in order to use Project Loom fibers or virtual threads, and we can use it in the future when this project comes to life. So some security enhancement. Now starting from Java 10, Java can easily work with containers like Docker containers, because before it introduced some problems because it wasn't aware of the container operating system, container memory. So it's always invoking the host operating system memory. So it introduced runtime exception like out of memory. But now with Java 10, it's aware of the container memory. When it gets inquiring for the memory to increase, it will ask the container, not the host operating system. And you can control of this with these flags for GVMs to control the GVM. Definitely, we know that G1 GC is the okay, I have 2 minutes, so you can read about it. But for G1, I told you that you need to migrate, because the improvement. So Java 11 says for us that GCG1 is more faster by 60% than the previous Java 9 and in 8. So this is come out of the box for you. We have a lot of garbage collectors introduced, and there is in Java 15 there is 2 garbage collectors graduated for production: GZC and Shenandoah garbage collectors. Some security improvement, we introduced TLS3, and we have this new Eclipse curved digital signature introduced also in Java 15. And finally, let's say what need to be aware of, that we removed a lot of methods from thread system runtime, and we removed all the methods in security manager, file input streams, file output stream. We removed completely. It's not, and even this class is removed. So you have to take care of this. We removed completely JavaSE.EE modules because it becomes part. And for people asking about XML binding and XML notation, and this, it's out there in Maven as an independent library, so you can include it in your BOM file to work with XML. And also we removed JavaFX from Java 11, but it's not deprecated. It becomes under its own GDK and maintained by Glowin, so you can use your JavaFX in your code by invoking dependency from Maven like this, and also you can run it with this configuration starting from Java 12. Finally, removed some tools. We removed policy tools, we removed Java head tools, and you can use this equivalent. We removed the profile, so you can use JMap or Visual VM. We removed definitely Java applet. There is no applet anymore. And we removed WebStart. National engine removed in favor of GraalVM or GraalJS. Packaging is removed in favor of JPackager tool that introduced intermittently. National also, it was deprecated and now removed, and you can use GraalVM for this if you'd like. RMI Activation is deprecated and will be removed in the future. So lastly, and Java benchmarking is very important and nice tool to use because, it can be used to benchmark your algorithms. It's not for system benchmarking, it's just only for algorithms. If you have implementation for algorithm for different implementation, you need to see the benchmark between of them, which best for you in different condition. You can use JMatch. And JMatch is, as I told you, Java micro benchmarking is very important tool to benchmark your algorithms, not the overall system. You have JMeter for this. Finally, you can use Visual VM for profiling, and it's open sourced from Oracle, so you can use it for free. And you can read about here more. And lastly, and last part, you can use Flight Recorder in order to do like data collection for your GVM in order to analyze it more and more. And it's open sourced from Oracle, so you can use it for free. Thank you very much for attending the presentation and for this long presentation. If you have any question, anything, you can post it to me. And I'm waiting for the next presentation. Is it going to be in the same link?
Yes. So thank you so much for this first talk. I'm so sorry for these technical issues we were experiencing. And yeah, since we have just 5-7 minutes till the next talk, all the questions, dear participants, all the questions you have to Mohamed, you can ask after the second talk in the Q&A Zoom room.